is a big, fat, help-wanted sign hanging on Steph Curry's back after he's absolutely dominated the Warriors' box score in scoring for the entire 11 games this season, while the rest of the Warriors bench, they seem to not have caught on just yet. What's going on, Warriors fans? I am your host of Warriors Today by Chat Sports, Allie Barefoot. Huge shout out to Chase Sr. for filling in for me last week. Go on ahead and show Chase Sr. some love in the comments, but until then, producer Smitty is right here to my left, and we're ready to talk about some Dubs basketball. Unfortunately, the Warriors have lost the past 3 games. They lost to Denver Nuggets and then to the Timberwolves and the Cleveland Cavaliers, and Steph Curry has been dominating. Shooting, scoring, doing everything he possibly can to help the Warriors win, but he doesn't have a lot of help. When you look at Curry's last 3 games, he had 38 points last night against the Minnesota Timberwolves. He had 23 points against the Nuggets. That's his lowest score of the season. And that's 23, which is still higher than any other Warrior has scored so far this year. He's been dominating. He's been absolutely having an MVP season. But there has been no other player to score more than 20 points. Dario did score right there at that 20, but overall, that just can't happen, especially last night when the Warriors did lose the Timberwolves by 6, and Curry dropped 38 points, and the rest of the bench had 33 points combined. He needs help, man. It's obvious at this point because Curry's having another MVP season. You don't want this momentum to go to waste either. These past 3 games could have been a lot different if Curry wasn't shooting the way that he is. The fact that he has now had an NBA history streak of 11 straight games with 4+ threes, yeah, he might be taking a lot of shots, but he has to get some kind of points on the board, and I'm not the only one that thinks so. Steve Kerr did address this problem last night, and he said, no question, we need some scoring and playmaking from elsewhere besides Steph Curry. You don't have to have Steph Curry numbers every night. I understand there's only one Steph Curry, but you need to have another player that's at least going to be in the 20+ scoring range every night along with Curry, because their record would look a lot different if that were the case. But ultimately, the Warriors are not a one-man team. I want to hear from you guys. Comment who you think. Which Warrior should step up offensively, whether it's Klay, Wiggins, Kuminga, Draymond, or the new Chris Paul. It can be anybody. It is fair game to have the next player step up, so I want to hear what you guys have to say. Because did you know Curry has made more threes, 62, than Klay Thompson has made field goals this year with 60? That's horrible. It really is. Klay Thompson can take great shots. He can be competitive and aggressive. But when you look at his stats, 16 points per game, that's okay. That's really not that bad. But it's not what the Warriors need right now. They need more. Assists, that's fine, 2 per game. It could be a lot more as well, but you're shooting almost 35% from the three-point line. For Klay Thompson, this is horrible. For the former All-Star, for the Splash Brother himself, he's not off to a hot start. He's played in only 10 games this season, but this isn't the Klay Thompson that we've all known and loved. He needs to be averaging 20+ points per game to help out Steph Curry. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You've got to help Curry out. And Klay Thompson addressed this when they did lose to the Cavaliers 2 games ago, and he said, one thing I've proved is resiliency within me. I'll come back and I'll have a great month. First 10 games I didn't shoot it as I'm capable. So the next 10 games, I'm going to be lights out. But you weren't. So you're a liar. Because game 11, you did the exact same thing that you had been doing. Thompson has a standard to uphold. He doesn't have a contract just yet. You've been on the Warriors for so long. You've made a name for yourself in the second Splash Brother. So if you're not scoring the way that you used to score, it may be time to ask some other questions. But in the meantime, I want you guys to check out Prize Picks. It is the Warriors Today sponsor. I love playing Prize Picks. I know Smitty does. Smitty just won $700 on Prize Picks. He's going crazy right now. If you want to win money like Smitty did, all you have to do is pick between 2 to 6 players' projected stats. Just click more or less. That's literally all you have to do. It's almost like a 50-50. I play this for NBA, I play it for NFL, and you can even do combined picks. You can pick some for the NFL and NBA games. Prize Picks does it all for you. Of course, I went on ahead and picked some for Monday Night Football. I have Russell Wilson, more than 213.5 yards, Josh Allen more than 277.5 yards, and Javonte Williams with more than 55.5 rushing yards, because life's too short. Go all more. That's my advice, but these are just my picks. I want to see yours. All you have to do is go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use promo code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100, and you can watch yourself win some real money in real time. Like I said, Curry's not the only player on the Dubs. Is he the best one right now? For sure. But where the heck is Andrew Wiggins? This guy is flat out not playing basketball the way that Andrew Wiggins does. He hasn't made a 3 in 7 games. That's terrible. He's only scored double digits in 6 games. Smitty and I were talking about this a minute ago. He needs to be a 20-point per game player. That should not be asking too much from somebody like Andrew Wiggins, because when you look at his box score through the first half of the season, the first 11 games, I should say, 50% from the free throw line. Horrible. 15% from the arc? What are you even shooting at, Wiggins? 41% from the field. That's not usually what Wiggins does. He's taken 26 threes in 11 games and has made 4 of them. I haven't played basketball since I was 12, and I promise you I can go out in the back court right now and make more than 4. And I know Andrew Wiggins can too. But he's being outshined right now by other players, including somebody like, Brandon Pajemski, who came in to the game versus the Minnesota Timberwolves, 8 points in 1 minute and 16 seconds. Wiggins, 6 points in 25 minutes and 26 seconds. Now, this does speak very highly of Pajemski, but this should be an eye-opener for Andrew Wiggins in the sense that, look, if you're not going to step up, you're right now the 4th leading scorer on the Warriors. If you're not going to step up, somebody else is going to. And I'm okay with that at this point. Do you guys think it's time to hit the panic button? It's 11 games in, and this has clearly become an issue for the Warriors offense. I don't want to say panic just yet. I think they can figure it out. So I want you guys to type P for panic, type NW for not worried if you guys think that they'll figure it out like the Dubs always do, because it makes me feel a little bit better about this in the sense that Steph Curry isn't worried about it yet. He has said, look, it's made my life a little bit harder because the defense is now only guarding me because I'm the only one shooting. Did I paraphrase that? Yeah, a little bit. But he is saying the offense just has to get a little more organized. It's not unfixable. It's really not. We've seen Klay Thompson shoot the way he can. Draymond Green, maybe a little less technical fouls, maybe a little more scoring, but I get it. Chris Paul needs to find some rhythm in his shot. Andrew Wiggins and Kuminga just need to play better. So overall, Curry's not worried yet, so I'm not going to be worried yet either. Now, there is going to be another 3 games that are going to be very tough. You just lost the Timberwolves by 6, but now you play them at home in your next game. So you're going to have to adjust a lot here going up against Timberwolves in a very short window, and it's an in-season tournament game, so of course if you lose, well, then that goes against the in-tournament record. And then you got the Thunder twice with 7-foot Chet Holmgren. It's not going to be easy, and we almost forgot because we've been focusing so much on the offense not scoring, is that the Warriors still have a big problem in the sense that they need a big. Well, that's going to come out when you play these big-foot guys like the Thunder. So now you've got to somehow figure out your offensive scheme while figuring out how to guard people like 7 feet tall and figure out down in the paint. It's going to be a tough stretch for the Warriors. It really is, but I don't think it's completely unfixable. I've got a few keys here that I'm going to be watching against the Timberwolves when they play them on November 14th, and I think that if they can knock these 3 things down, it could definitely help at least the next stretch of games. You got all eyes on Wiggins and Thompson. I need one of them. Just one of them to shoot more than 20 points in that game. Really? That shouldn't be that hard to ask for, but it looks like I'm begging at this point, so be it. Chris Paul needs to find a consistent jumper. I've been pretty lenient with Chris Paul. It's a new offense. It's a new team. He's never been the greatest scorer on the team. He's always been dishing out assists, but his shots aren't falling. Now, I'll give it to Thompson and Chris Paul. They're being aggressive when they do take their shots, which is more than I can say for somebody like Andrew Wiggins, but the shot has to fall. And overall, just spread out the offense. Take some work off of Curry's back. Literally take the help wanted sign off and say, I got you. That's all he needs. He's pretty much being double teamed at this point because they know he's going to shoot. But you're going to have to do what you got to do to put some points on the board. What do you guys want to see the Warriors work on in this next 3-game stretch? They got to go up against the Minnesota Timberwolves. They got to go up against the Thunder in the next 2 games. So overall, I want to hear from you guys. Type what you think the Warriors need to do on offense to help turn these next 3 games into dubs. And go ahead and hit that sub button for me while you guys are at it. We're going to bring you everything you possibly need to know about Warriors content. So go ahead and hit that sub button for me.